Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back once again, or for the very first time, to the Farts and Crap Show, where today, as per usual, it's your host, Danjo, here with another video on Elden Ring. And, once again, I was considering, I was like, what's an interesting video I could do that's, like, interesting to me, you know? And I've beaten the game twice now with my main character, and I was considering how to make my third playthrough interesting, how to mix things up, because what I've seen for the most part are two different types of Elden Ring playthroughs where either people will use a weapon in the right hand, a shield in the left hand, or they'll go with like a magic build of some kind, or they will, kind of less common, will just mix everything together. Weapons, magic, that sort of thing. Sometimes a shield, but it all depends on your play style, your preference. And I'm here once again in the prayer room, Site of Grace, because this is actually my favorite grinding spot in the game, and it's kind of my favorite group of enemies to test things out on. And basically what I want to talk about is dual wielding. Now, the dual wielding in this game is kind of reminiscent of old school power stancing, which I believe was introduced in Dark Souls 2. And basically, if you have two of the same weapon type in each hand, with your L1 attack, basically it does not only the left hand, but a unique combination. Now let's go ahead and turn this down because that is going to be way too loud. For example, I have the Hand of Millennia in the right hand and the Rivers of Blood in the left hand, both incredible weapons, and both katanas, both slash pierce type katanas. So when performing the L1 attack, you get this unique attack combo, but it still favors the weapon skill on the right hand, so you can still use Waterfowl Dance, which is one of my favorite weapon skills in the entire game. And initially that's what this video is going to be about, is like my favorite weapon skills. And that's all well and good, but there are some very interesting things you can do in this game with dual wielding. Now, I'll just show you guys real quick. Waterfowl Dance in action, because I would be remiss if I didn't do And as you can see, very respectable damage, but that's entirely with the Hand of Millennia. But once you get this bleed build up, like, you can string it along with certain abilities and stuff. And of course, enemies that like to block, use their shields and stuff, it's very similar to what you might be dealing with if you play a PvP. And as you can see, yeah, just you can pile up the damage super quick with this combination. Now, some people would prefer the Rivers of Blood in the right hand, and I get that. But we're still not proccing bleed super fast. Now, the upside to this combination is, aside from getting these two weapons and upgrading them, like, that's pretty much all there is to it. there's not really a whole lot of other prep that's required. Now, I thought, what if we try to just max out bleed as much as possible? Like, just get bleed build up super fast. And there's a couple of ways to do this way faster than how I'm doing it right now. And these are my stats at the moment. Basically, the important ones is we got Arcane of 40, which dictates your bleed buildup on your weapons. Strength and Dexterity both at 50, and then everything else doesn't really matter as much right now. I was kind of going more for a balanced loadout with the Faith at 32, mainly to still get some of the buffs that I wanted from magic. And that was kind of before I decided, what if we do 0 magic for the next playthrough? Because I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a luck mode kind of thing, if you guys are familiar with that from Symphony of the Night. So yeah, the Hand of Melania does great damage, and the blood loss buildup is only 50. Rivers of Blood, Corpse Piler is an awesome weapon skill, but still 66 blood loss. Not super incredible. Now you can give the blood affinity to weapons if you have the Black Wet Blade, which is one of the whetstone knives in the game, found in the Nokrum Eternal City. So that does require you to defeat Radon before you can even go get that. So if it's your first playthrough, it's not something that's going to be immediately accessible. So early on, you might want to go with, something like Nagekiba or the Uchigatana, both of which you can acquire much earlier in the game. And most of the time, a lot of katanas and certain other weapons have blood loss by default, but you can change the Ashes of War. So one thing that I did and found works super well is just taking a Lordsworn Blood Straight Sword, maxing it out and giving it the blood affinity, because if you have any kind of physical Ash of War, which there are many, on a straight sword, you can give it the blood affinity if you want. So it scales with Arcane, but still with like Strength and Dexterity. And as you can see, a staggering 102 blood loss buildup. And that's on 1. So together, 204 blood loss buildup. And since they are just regular straight swords, they don't weigh that much, 3.5 each. And they attack quite quickly, especially with the straight sword dual wielding combo, which, yeah, it's quite fast. It's very respectable. Now, of course, with the correct stats, you could also do this with great swords, where I went ahead and tried it out with 2 knight great swords and didn't quite max them out because ancient dragonsmithing stones are hard to come by, but for a lot of these weapons I got them to plus 24, and the blood loss buildup is higher at 122. However, the strength scaling does take a bit of a dip, and it's going to be a lot slower. However, the damage you're going to be dealing is a lot higher. And of course, there is a unique... Well, there's a unique stance, which I love this. This is great. And there's a unique combo for dual greatswords. It is slower, but those sweeps are so great for groups of enemies. Of course, the jumping L1 is just a double slam, and it feels great to use. Like almost 1,000 immediately. Second hit, blood loss. Yep, second hit, blood loss. and the damage just keeps going up because of a few talismans. The Rotten Wing Sword Insignia greatly raises attack power with successive attacks. Very good for like the dual katanas or the dual straight swords. The Shard of Alexander boosts the power of skills, which is very helpful for if you have a particularly helpful weapon skill in the right hand, like double slash or the waterfowl dance like I was showing earlier, and the Lord of Blood's Exaltation. Blood loss in vicinity increases attack power, and you could actually further increase this with something like the Ritual Sword Talisman, raises attack power when HP is at maximum. So if we go ahead and do it this way, $14.27, and again, second hit, blood loss. And enemies can try to block, but the poise reduction on dual greatswords is going to be pretty significant, so they're going to have a tough time. 1556, 1550, more blood loss, it just went up again. And again, this is without any kind of like Ash of War or spell buffs. Yep, one shot. 1593, and of course in this area you can also get Smithing Stone 6, 7, and 8 as a random drops from these guys. Yeah, and that guy always tries to counter with his great shield. Still practically one-shotting these guys. But yeah, when they try to counter, it's not something you want to deal with. So that is the one downside to this. But there's also a great way to counter their blocking, with a couple of different Ashes of War that will work for this setup. And of course, yes, you could just hit them really hard, and it's not going to matter. But let's go ahead and warp back real quick so everybody respawns and we can change our weapons real quick. And again, with the straight swords, especially with the Lord Sworn straight sword, by default it does have a physical Ash of War, which I left on one of them, known as Square Off. Square Off is very helpful because it will immediately break an enemy's guard. So you can have the weapons in two hands, and then you just hit L2 to ready the stance, and then either R1 for the shield break, or R2 for the upward thrust shield break. Whoop. I'm very surprised I didn't get the backstab there. As you can see, very, very quick blood loss build up. Much less damage, but subsequent attacks kind of negates the whole thing. Of course, those aren't the guys that try to block immediately, so... Get the backstab there, 1513. Still just like massive damage. Alright, this guy. Blocking, stagger. Alright, come on. There you go. Very, very helpful. Now that's a two-part setup though. So again, it's good, but it could be a little bit better. But this particular combination is very, very helpful. And on the other straight sword, I prefer to have something like Stormblade, so I still have a projectile. And Stormblade does pretty respectable damage. It's actually not that bad, especially with a maxed out weapon. So as an example here, we'll just Stormblade. Yeah, over 1,000. And you can do it in quick succession, so it's very, very helpful. Even on guarding enemies, like, they're only going to be able to guard so much. Still doing 200. And he can't really do much of anything. He can try to counter. But you can easily wear him down. And probably the best part about this set of weapons is by the time the enemy is trying to block, you've almost procced blood loss. It just eats through enemies so quickly. But again, we could do a little bit better. So my favorite combination that I just discovered today is there's a particular weapon in this game, a weapon type called a twin blade. Now, there's only like 5 different twin blades in the game. We got the Godskin Peeler, Gargoyle's Twin Blade, Gargoyle's Black Blades, and Eleanor's Pole Blade. And this was the first one that I got, but I realized this is a really cool weapon. Like, a really cool weapon. With a great weapon skill, too. One of my favorites, honestly. Like, that combo is just awesome. But what if we could do the same thing for 2 twin blades and dual wield twin blades? And you can. But the only one in the game you can change the Ash of War on is the twinned Knight Swords. All of the other ones are unique weapons where you cannot change them. And none of them, except for Eleanor's Pole Blade, do blood loss buildup. But at plus 24 with blood affinity, it's doing 122 blood loss buildup. And you can do either. I was trying out Storm Assault, it's not as good. Piercing Fang, though, is fantastic, because it is a skill from Yura, the Bloody Finger Hunter. Starting with a blade held horizontally, make a powerful thrust that cannot be blocked. It is unblockable, which is fantastic. So you can easily still deal with those guarding enemies. And of course, with one in each hand, it's a combined blood loss of 244. And the combo is, check this out. It's a 3-part combo, but the range on this and the jumping attack, look at that. This is the dodge L1 and the running L1. Like, this is incredible. So let's go back to our test here. Lower individual damage, right? But look how fast we're getting blood loss. As far as I can tell, this outbleeds every other combination. At least every other combination I've tried. Without going with, you know, swarm of flies or something. Oh no, blocking enemies. Back up. And the range on Piercing Fang, combined with the range of this weapon, which, yeah, that's a long weapon. The gap closing on it is incredible. It's so fast. It's just like step, done. That's it. And yeah, the individual hit damage not as good, right? And you're gonna be better off probably with the Rotted Wing Sword insignia. This one's a lot harder to get than the lesser talisman, the Winged Sword insignia. I believe this one is only acquirable through Millicent's questline by completing it and helping her out. Because you can choose to not help her without dropping spoilers. But yeah, hitting the wall there, it's not helping. But yeah, I was testing this earlier, even with the Clean Rot Knights down there in the next room. They couldn't even do much about this. Alright, come on, go ahead and block. Look at that, right through the shield. Got that little stagger. I think the first one, 1200 damage. And again, not using buffs outside of talismans. No spells. No Ashes of War. Just pure bleed buildup. Whoops. Hitting the wall and his shield. There we go. So yeah. Dual Twin Knight. Twin swords? Twin blades? What are they called again? Twinned Knight swords. Twin blades. Yeah, it's weird talking about it. But yeah, in case you guys are wondering, you can only get one of these. You can't get this weapon as a random drop. So if you want two of these, you have to go into New Game Plus. But you can just pick it up. So honestly, you don't have to do anything. Like, there's no barriers. You could just go north, all the way up here, and then, you know, there's the Lift of Dectus, right? But if you go up through here, through the ruin-strewn precipice, you just fight your way through there, and that's the other way to get up to the Altus Plateau. From there, you just head up all the way up here to the East Windmill Pasture, and there will be a bonfire outside, and it will be an item sitting in that bonfire. So you can just go pick it right up. And as far as what's the other one? The Lord Sworn Straight Swords. That's one of the easiest weapons to get in the entirety of the game, because you can farm them at Gatefront Ruins, like, very quickly. So right at the beginning of the game, you can get a couple of these. And at first, it is much easier to do Frost for a while until you can get that Black Wet Blade, because all you need for the Frost affinity is the one in the Academy, which is very, very simple to get. I believe it's right after the... Okay, it's the Debate Parlor. So from the Debate Parlor, which is the room where you fight the Red Wolf boss fight, you just go straight outside, follow the left, go up like you're going to fight Renala, and it's kind of right there on the overhang. So it's very simple to go get very early in the game. And then you can do a dual Frost build-up, which is similar and very, very helpful, but not as good as Bleed anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, the guys that you can farm these from, I'll just like show you guys real quick, because I have a decent enough arcane to where like item discovery is going to be pretty high. Plus we can put the Scarab on to make sure that we get it. And I have quite a few runes right now, so I should probably level up, because I think I have about 2. I have 1. Alright, that's fine. We'll just get HP for now. Could probably... I'll just wait. Nothing's gonna kill me out here. And we'll go ahead and switch out Shard of Alexander for... Which one is it? Where are my scarabs? Oh, there they are. Silver scarab. There we go. So our item discovery is at 216. And here we go. So that is the area, the building, where you start the game. Then you just basically follow the main road as you ordinarily would. I should probably put a spoiler warning like in the title of this video, because this is post-game, so there are some elements that are kind of different. There we go. Got an item. Got the Lord Sworn Bolt. It's pretty good for your crossbows. But it's those guys. Like this guy right here. Any of these Stormveil Knights? Godric's dudes. There we go. Lord Sworn Straight Sword. Lord Sworn Straight Sword. That is hard to say. But yeah, any of these knights, basically. And there's so many of them, and they're very easy to take out. Even like very early in the game. Like this is New Game Plus, so these guys are roughly twice as powerful as they were in the first playthrough. That was the guy who was about to blow the horn, I think. And of course, as you run towards most enemies, they will drop their guard. Yup. Yeah, you want to use your great shield? Yeah. Good luck there, bud. Alright. Come here. Come on. Try it out. Try it out. See what happens. Yeah, we got another partisan. And, yeah, that's gonna basically do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for stopping by. Let's see if we can get another one here. And, if you never got the first whetstone knife, by the way, that is actually right down here. In this chest right here. And again, this is the Gatefront Ruins. And, yeah, it's just a great way to get plenty of those weapons. Like, I think we got, yeah, I had the 2. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more of them. These things are very common and very decent once you max them out. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. What is your favorite? And also, yeah, like, let's get that discussion going. Like, what is your favorite weapon combination in the game? It's, for me, right now, it's probably going to be Twin Blades. The Rivers of Blood and Hand of Millennia is probably a close second, I would say. But, yeah, there's a lot of really good ones. So, yeah, I'm going to go back to the prayer room, because I was grinding to stock up on smithing stones for my 3rd journey, because the bell bearings, again, spoilers, do not carry over. So, yeah, you won't be able to buy smithing stones until you go back to those places and get the bell bearings once again. And yeah, if it's been a long time for you guys and you don't quite remember, I'll go over it real quick. The first one is in the Rhea Lucaria Crystal Tunnel. That is for smithing stones 1 and 2. The second one is over in the, let's see, 3 and 4 is in the sealed tunnel, I believe, in just outside of Lindell. For 5 and 6, it is in the Zamor ruins, again in like a basement kind of thing, just in a chest. And for 7 and 8, it is at the end of the game in Crumbling Farum Azalea. I always get that one messed up on the name. Is there a thing that says the full name? Do it? No. And it doesn't show on the map either. But anyway, that is for all of the standard bell bearings. For the somber ones, they're a little bit different, but honestly, I don't really like. I never had to buy somber smithing stones in this game. Like, if you just play through the game kind of normally, usually you stock up plenty of them if you just pick up any items that you see. And there aren't as many unique weapons that I improve as much as like standard weapons for this purpose, as well as like testing and just like, oh, this weapon uses regular smithing stones, cool, I can. They're so abundant. And plus, like, yeah, the bell bearings are pretty easily accessible. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Liking and subscribing, of course, all that stuff is appreciated. And very special thank you, of course, to the Farts and Crap Show members. In case you guys are unfamiliar with YouTube memberships, that's what the join button is for. It's for supporting channels more directly. It's a paid membership kind of thing. You get various perks. Right now, our only member is Novalis Draconis, but thank you so much. And if you want to be awesome like Novalis Draconis, yeah, the join button, blah, 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 all the stuff. But anyway, till next time, everybody, take care, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.